Then, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go. Bass in your face.
What the hell is going on down there?
Bass in your face.
Hey guys, it's Mizzy, and I'm a mixed girl in a mixed up world. Welcome to the show, and of course, I'm a hot mess right now. I had technical difficulties. I'm not even going to explain it. I just want to bring Barb up as soon as I can. Let's welcome Barb to the show. It was fun. At least it wasn't all on camera.
Yeah, it's good. Looks good.
How are you tonight?
Doing great.
Good.
Doing great. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Cheryl. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Hello, how are you? Thanks for joining us tonight. Okay. Whew. Everybody's popping in. Hey, guys, how's it going? How are you?
I still can't see the chat. Unless people aren't chatting yet, maybe.
Huh?
Maybe people aren't chatting yet?
Oh, yeah, they're in the chat.
So they're chit-chatting already, and I'm not seeing it. Okay, great. I wonder
Click
why.
out of it and come back in. Do you have the chat up?
I don't know. How do you do that?
You got to click enter chat, I think. Because my screen's totally different from yours, so I'm not sure what you're seeing. So, hey, guys.
Hang on, I'll do it. We'll get it. Oh,
Thank you for joining us.
yeah, but now I can't see you. Oh, wait, here we go.
Hello.
Hang on.
Hello. All right.
Okay.
So, while Barb's doing that, I'm going to bring up, we have a little announcement that is coming up. Let me share my screen while Barb is getting her chat up and running.
Yeah, right. Okay. You have a lot of faith in me, don't you?
Not the way this night's going so far.
No.
Okay. So everybody knows this is the 5-year anniversary of Sandra's murder. And on February 1st will be the exact 5-year anniversary. So we are going to be doing a standout at Canton Police Department. We decided not to do a memorial this year. We decided because there are going to be so many hearings coming up, we figured we would sprinkle little ways to celebrate Sandra. Barb just got kicked out. Celebrate Sandra through, instead of celebrate her life throughout the year. So we wanted to do that instead of doing a memorial like we did last year. It was important. Our memorial last year was very important just because it was the first year. On paper, it said that was the day she was murdered. Because before that, on her death certificate, it still says the 4th. And that's because that's the day they found her. But they, on paper now, because the FBI and DOJ, it says she was murdered that night that Matthew Farwell was at her house.
Right.
So yeah, let me scroll down a little bit so you guys can see the whole poster. I'm going to zoom out so you can see the whole poster because it's really pretty, if I do say so myself. So the information is, it's February 1st, obviously 2026. It's 1 to 3 p.m. at the Canton Police Department. The address is on the poster. And if the weather is bad, though, we are going to postpone it to the following weekend on February 7th. Same time, same place. The 1st is a Sunday, and the 7th is a Saturday. It's the day before the Super Bowl, so that's why we were having it on that Saturday. But so if you are in the area or you can get there, please come join us. We want to make this one even bigger than the one last year. The one we had last year was pretty big. So, you know, all are invited. You know, we do have some extra signs, but we don't have a ton. But you can make a sign. I mean, you don't have to be elaborate with your sign. You can grab a piece of cardboard and a black Sharpie that says, and write "Justice for Sandra Birchmore" or anything like that, you know. Just write the name Sandra Birchmore, anything, you know. Because that's why we're there. You know, 5 years is like one of those, let me bring us both up. No, I can go back to the screen if I have to. You know, 5 years is a big mile. You know, they say like 5 increments are the big milestones. You know, 5, 10, and I don't want to keep harping on this for too much because I know it's like hurting your heart. 5 years is a big, you know, milestone, and it just it's coinciding with his trial. So that's the good side of it, you know. So it'd be awesome to see you, and Barb would be able to meet you. Yeah, if you guys can come, please do. Please do. Yeah.
Good. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah, you're getting lots of love and hugs in the chat. I don't know if you could see the chat.
I can't see the chat. I don't know why I can't
I'm
see
going
it,
to put them up on the screen.
which is crazy. There's like a blank square below it where I probably should be able to see it. I tried signing in and I ended up booting myself from the StreamYard to rejoin. So I don't know. I don't want to mess with it too much.
Yeah.
And end
Especially with how things were
kicking myself out.
Okay, so I'm going to show you guys the poster one more time.
Yeah, try to put that on the website later.
Yeah, we're going to get it up on the website tonight, and I'll have it up on our pages, you know, Facebook, and I'll put it on X and I'll get it up on my Instagram and wherever else I can get it up.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good, Cheryl. Okay, so let me just zoom in so people can one last look at the poster, so people can, you know, see it. Okay, clicked out. Okay, so in that screen. So I do want to.
I like the colors of that. It's nice with the blue.
Yeah, when
Looks good.
Found this, when I you know, I looked for the different templates, and this one.
I can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me?
Uh-oh.
You can't hear me?
Nope. No sound. I don't know why.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. I don't know, when I clicked to remove that, for some reason it took my sound down.
Oh, I'm touching buttons.
Okay, so let's talk about the thank you so much. Before I finish my work, thank you.
Yeah, she does a good job.
Thank you. Canva is like the best thing ever. It makes things so easy. And for somebody like me who has cognitive issues, especially with when my migraines are bad, it's very user friendly and it's free up to a point. You just got to scroll and find the ones that are free. And if you ever need to make a post or anyone out there, I recommend Canva.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Tuesday.
Yeah, let's.
So on Tuesday, Matthew Farwell had a hearing at 11 o'clock at place we like to call Uncle Joe's house, otherwise known as the Moakley building.
Yeah.
I met you, and shout out to Annie and Peter Murphy.
Yeah.
Who also came with us. I met you guys at Starbucks about 45 minutes before the hearing started. And I bumped into somebody who I had never met in person, but we had spoken online. I want to, give up this person. But this person gave us some information that kind of like shocked us a little, both of us, that Matthew Farwell was going to be in the courtroom, because at this point, the very few hearings that they have had besides his arraignment, he had never been in court.
Nope. Not even on camera.
Yes.
Not
so,
even.
Oh, yeah, we're both wearing pink for some reason. We're normally wearing the same. It looks like we coordinated our outfits.
That's funny. We did not do that. I know. I got this for Christmas from my sister, so I've been wearing it. It's nice and warm.
Looks nice and cozy.
A sweatshirt. Yeah. Oh, that's
I
fun.
spilled soda on my shirt like 5 minutes before we went live. So
you did.
Because there was a little left in my soda can, and I was just like trying to get it done.
Oh, yeah.
And it just went all down my face, and I was like, "Oh, you suck." I'm like, I hope this is dry by the time I go live. So I was like, let me throw this over just in case.
Yeah. Oh no. It sounds like something I do. Oh yay. Hello.
And Sue came too. Sue also joined us
nice.
in court. So
nice.
So we got the information that we were going to see Farwell. And I think I was told first, and then because I was talking to that person, and I said, "Oh, we have to tell Barb that." And
someone should tell Barb at some point.
Surprise!
I know, right? Surprise! Right before court. I'm like, oh boy, okay.
When you heard he was going to be in court, what were your thoughts?
I was shocked at first. I was really surprised.
Yeah.
And, I'm like, and then I
you
said,
audibly gasped. You went,
I did. I didn't expect that at all. I was completely and totally bowled over by that one.
And we both had it to it took a minute. I mean, obviously I probably processed it faster in my brain, just because, no matter how much I work on Sandra's case, I still am not a family member. I did not know Sandra, so I can disconnect, unlike a family member or a friend or a classmate, somebody who knew Sandra can't. I mean, obviously Sandra and her case have become such a part of my life, but I still have that ability to disconnect, unlike you, who that's your loved one.
Right. Well, I'm glad I didn't know the night before, because I don't think I would have slept.
Yeah.
I think I would have had really bad sleep the night before. So, and I think it hit me because I wasn't quite sure how I was going to react when I actually saw him. I really didn't know.
Yeah.
I've never been in that situation before. So how do you know how you're going to feel?
Yeah.
So
exactly. Yeah.
It was rough.
Can I just say, having a former police officer with you when you go to places like court and I'm gonna drop a F-bomb, is fucking amazing because you know, he might not know the court officer, but he knows somebody who they know.
He's
And
a
they're
calming
friends
influence
with.
anyways. He's very calming.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Anyways.
Peter Murphy is so
Calm.
personable and
Kind of.
great to talk to anyway.
Yeah.
But when he goes up, I mean, it's different than me going up and asking the information. They'd look at me and go sit down. Him, he got up and got all this information, like
He did.
what door he's gonna come in, and all this information, and we're just like,
yeah,
cool,
yeah, he was very helpful. Very
yeah.
helpful.
So we're all sitting there like for me, I was like a kid in a candy store because I just wanted him to see my face and smirk at him. But for you, it's totally different.
Totally different.
It's your loved one. So like, the courtroom was a little more full than it has been the last few times.
Yeah.
I agree. God bless Peter Murphy. He's a great friend. He's such a good friend. He's such a good guy. Yes, he is the best.
Yeah.
So
true.
So it was, we had, the first few times we went, we were able to sit like really right up front. We had to sit a few aisles back, and like I said, I felt like a kid in the candy store as we were waiting for him to come in. What were the thoughts going through your head? Were you just trying to be like, don't jump up and go kick him in the head, or what were your thoughts? Like, don't scream,
Just trying to calm myself down, and I wasn't even sure if I wanted to look at him or not.
Yeah.
Because I just didn't know how I was going to react.
Yeah.
But I was delighted to see him try to walk in shackles. That was really good. That was probably the best part of all.
Yeah.
Seeing him trying to walk in his shackles.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It was so surreal because you knew it was coming soon, because all of a sudden you turned around.
He's behind that door.
But before that, the marshals, all of a sudden there were like marshals everywhere in the room. And you were like, oh, it's going to happen. It's about to happen. I unfortunately missed the door opening because I was looking for somebody and I had my head turned the other way.
Oh.
And Peter was like, Missy, he's coming. And then I turned and he was like almost at the desk.
Oh, the desk, yeah.
Yeah. So as somebody who didn't get to see when the door opened, what was it like when that door opened?
It was crazy. It was just crazy. He scanned the room before he sat down. He looked at us, he scanned the whole room, and our eyes didn't meet or anything like that, but he scanned the whole room and then he sat down. So like he was looking for somebody. I don't know who.
Yeah. And I mean, were you next to me, or was Annie next to me? You were next to me. You were next to me. So you were kind of behind. I was in the middle of the row, and I was kind of like the parting of the sea. So I was kind of like in the eye line. But once he got to the desk, he didn't really look. He wasn't looking our way. He kind of was just, because that's when he got up to the desk where the lawyers were.
Yeah, when the door first opened, he looked across the room, kind of scanned the whole room before he started walking. So yeah. I had a very tall person in front of me, so I had to keep straining to try to look around her. She was very tall.
Yeah, and I believe those were that they were with the prosecution.
Okay. Yeah. Probably.
So the hearing starts, and the judge, they go through just like any hearing. The lawyers introduce themselves. His lawyer introduced him, and then the judge went right straight into it.
Yeah.
His lawyer started, and she just started naming some cases
Yeah.
that were like, I guess you would say kind of similar, which there was what they were not similar, but
Yeah.
she was trying to use those cases. You know, that's like in any trial, they use cases to, you know, so the judge can, you know, rule against or for it.
Yeah.
Sue's in the chat too, so we might call on Sue a little bit, and Annie. So Annie, let me see. She said his overwhelming hugeness was
Mm-hmm.
staggering at
Yes.
the same time, knowing
Yeah.
how the teen singer was. That was the thing that Barb and I, we said it to each other, like whispered it. He's so big. Let's go back to that. Annie, thank you. I'm so glad you're here to say that, because you're bringing me back to where before we get into the hearing part. When he came in, he has lost some weight.
Yeah.
He doesn't look like he does in the pictures that we've seen of him. He looks more like he did in his earlier days when he was the canine cop.
Right. Yeah. He's lost what, about 30 pounds maybe?
Yeah.
Say about
His face is more of a baby face now.
Yeah.
And like I've always been like I'm not like I'm just gonna be honest. He was definitely more attractive, even though I think he's gross and vile, than he looks in the other pictures we've seen of him, except when you go back to his younger days when he was a canine cop. He doesn't look as bloated and grotesque and old like a big huge ogre, although he is really, really tall. That's one of the, like Annie said, he is very, very tall, and that's one of the things you notice. And I mean, he's shackled, so he's also, you know, not standing up straight at that point.
Right. He's what, 6'4"?
Yeah.
And Sandra was only 4'10".
Yeah.
He was tiny.
So, I mean, like, just imagining them standing next to each other, that's like a parent standing next to their child, like a 10-year-old, you know? Like their child before they hit puberty and shoot up, you know, get taller like most kids do.
Right.
And that was something that was very, very noticeable, and like you felt it as he was walking in. And he was still a big guy, even like not even height wise. He's still a big guy, even though he's lost weight.
Oh yeah.
And like I said, I'm being straight up honest that he's definitely, I don't think he's cute, but he's definitely more attractive, and he looks more like he did when he was a canine cop than he did when he left Stoughton PD.
Yeah. So,
because people are like, well, one of the things that a comment that somebody made last night on one of our posts, they said, you know, why was she attracted to him or something along those lines? And you and I both said to them, it was grooming. You know, it wasn't about the physicality of the person. It was the grooming. So like I said, I'm just trying to be honest with people, like look at the whole, you know, analytically look at the whole situation. Yeah. So like I said, she starts, his lawyer starts going through the case, and you know, some of it at the very beginning, it's kind of like she was saying a couple times, a bunch of cases that it's like, we don't know these cases, we don't know how to compare them. But the thing is, she brought up the Boston Marathon bomber because he asked to have his trial moved.
Right.
His trial wasn't moved. And his lawyer was trying to compare them. And the judge stopped her and basically said, I'm going to just summarize it, that do you think that there's more publicity in this case than that case, when that case was something
not even
that affected everybody in this area, not even just in Boston, this whole area. It was a terror attack, and she was kind of trying to downplay it, but not. She was just saying that, when cases have big publicity like that, and that was the best case she could use to compare his to. But they're not, they're like apples and oranges.
Definitely.
And that case was not moved out of Massachusetts or especially out of Boston.
Right.
And so it's like, it's to me, it's not a good argument.
If you remember that case, they were talking about that every day, all day, every single day. When we go to court, when Matthew comes up in a hearing, it gets spoken about for maybe 2-3 days, and then it fades away. It's
exactly.
not constant like that was constant. It was in your face all the time, and it should have been. I mean, it was a horrible thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But with this is not. You can't even compare it.
Not at all. Not even close.
No.
I mean, like, yes, there are a lot of people paying attention to this case, but it's a blip on the screen. I mean, it's nothing like what happened with Karen Reed. No, I know part of that might be because it's in federal, but it's not on that level.
No.
Not that people don't care about Sandra and her case.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just not, it hasn't gotten to that. Hey, Boozy, how's it going?
Hello.
Thank you for joining us. If you guys don't follow Boozy, she's had her YouTube channel for a while now, but she's getting it up and going, and she's going to start doing stuff on her, stuff on her channel. Her and I are talking about doing something at some point. So please go follow her channel if you're not following her. And if you're not following her on TikTok, what are you doing with your life? Yeah. Because she does an awesome job on TikTok. And I know she wants to kind of bring that more to her YouTube and do, more of a high-tech type thing. So go follow her. So there's no comparison. To those cases, Sanders, obviously, once the trial starts, the news will pick up. There will be national news on the case.
Right.
But Karen's case, there was national news on. I'm just going to use Karen's case as an example because it's something that's in everybody's minds who were in the chat, whether you paid attention to the case or not. It's something that's in our minds. It was on TV a lot. Every time she had a hearing, it was on TV. They talked about, if every time a filing came out, every time a filing comes out for Sandra, it doesn't always get news. If there's something big like this one, I believe there was a blip. It was a blip in the news. I'm sure that not the next hearing
beforehand. Before it happened, there was no saying this is coming up or anything like that.
Yeah.
And they didn't talk about the civil case hearing that was that same day.
Yeah, and I haven't even looked into that. I've completely forgot about it.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't like it's not on the level of Karen's case. It's not. No. I don't see it being on that level. No. Not that it's not going to have national attention. It's just Karen's case became so huge. And Sandra's was part of Karen's case. No matter how many people try to say it wasn't, it was. That's why their defense wanted to use Sandra's case to show, hey, listen, this is another case about another cop where they didn't charge this person, and now the feds charge them. So
Yeah.
it's like, you know,
Good point.
that's why Karen's team wanted to say, look, there's a little bit of, you know, cohesion with these cases. You know, I've always said there's connective tissue. It's not like they're, you know, they're not sewn together. It's just there's some tissue that's connected that, you know, same DA, a lot of the same cops, same town murder. You know, we've talked about all that a lot.
Yeah. Relatively same time of the year. There was a snowstorm.
Yep.
I mean,
exactly.
but the
Almost
biggest thing is
exactly a year
cover
apart.
up, corruption,
Yeah.
Morrissey.
Michael Morrissey.
Morrissey, yes.
You know.
Yeah.
Fanning.
Fanning.
So for her to compare them, and then she mentioned Puerto Rico, that, you know, Puerto Rico's population is the size of Massachusetts, and I'm like, okay, like, what does this have to do with what, you know? I get it. She's trying to make her points, and she's just being a good lawyer. I will say that she's being a good lawyer to her client. I don't have to like what she's saying,
right?
But she's just trying to be a good lawyer to her client.
She's doing her job.
I'm trying to be like, play the middle and you know, stay where my head is at. So, yeah. So what were your initial thoughts when she got up there to speak?
Initial thoughts. I was just trying to listen to her as closely as I could. And I didn't want to miss anything, you know?
Yeah.
She talked very quickly, very fast. And she wasn't very loud compared to the other one. I had trouble following her, but
yeah,
you could tell she was well prepared. She was very well prepared. Yeah.
How Puerto Rico she was comparing the size of Puerto Rico to the size of
in population, district. Right?
Yes, population size. It has nothing to do with the case. She was showing a case that took place in Puerto Rico.
Oh, okay.
And it was the size it was the population size were equivalent, like the you know, the Massachusetts district. I'm sorry, the Boston area district.
The district.
You know, it is the same size of the whole
Puerto Rico. Yes, I'm in Easton. We have a bullseye over Easton on the map. Yeah. I'm gonna get the candles going.
Yeah. There are a lot of reporters.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
there is somebody who was an independent who did.
Was someone?
I don't know who they were, but they did share. They did tag.
There was some we didn't even know who they were. They were sitting there taking notes.
Yeah, there was a lot of reporters, but we didn't talk to all of them. But we did talk to a bunch of people outside.
We did.
I haven't even gotten a chance to go through all the news stations reports. I normally do that night, but like my father's birthday was that night, so it was like I came home. And like not too long later, hopped on StreamYard to do my dad's birthday. So I was and then I woke up not feeling well the next day.
Yeah.
So I haven't. Whoops.
It wasn't until the next day that I got. I have a Google alert set up for Matthew Farwell.
Actually,
the next day. It was the next day that I got like a whole list from Google that showed all the different news stations.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Sue, who was also there, using Puerto Rico was a stretch in the defense attorney's argument.
I agree.
But I guess if the populations are the same, I think that was her point. So so she went on with her thing, and she kept mentioning she reiterated and mentioned the Boston Globe over and over again, you know, and then we got a shout out.
Yeah.
She said, she was like, blah, 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 Boston Globe. And in today, the Justice for Sandra Birchmore group didn't do a standout today because they even said because they don't want to affect the judge's decision.
Yeah.
And me and Barb just went like, oh,
What?
we both did to each other. And we were like, we were both, I think we both kind of like got, like then we were like shooting daggers in the back of her head. I was shooting daggers in the back of Farwell's head. And then I was like, what? You want to talk about us? Like, you know,
they're watching us.
Fair, like not fair when it comes to him, but we just put out the stuff that's being covered in the news, and we put out our standouts and stuff. Right. We do let, and that's one thing I want to mention tonight too. After we're done with this, about people going a little cuckoo about violence. I do want to mention that after, like when we're done with talking about this.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, she is definitely lurking. Clearly,
well, she probably has her minions lurking. I imagine she doesn't have time. But Matthew Farwell has time. Her. Matthew Farwell has lots of time to look at our group. Who knows?
Boozy. Oh, so you want to stand out? Perfect. Noted.
Yes.
And I invited Boozy to come join us.
Nice.
At Sandra's. So
very good.
Again, anybody else who's in the area, please come join us on February 1st. For some of you who weren't in here, on February 1st, we're doing a standout for the 5-year anniversary of Sandra's murder at Canton PD on February 1st from 1 to 3 p.m.
Yeah.
And if the weather is bad, we're gonna postpone it and do the makeup day on February 7th, the following weekend. That's a Saturday. The 1st is a Sunday. Okay, back to the hearing. I don't know if it was before or after this, but then she repeatedly started saying Sandra committed suicide.
I know. Yeah.
And I think before that,
unfortunate suicide, she called it.
Yeah. Before that, she said that this was like mind-boggling.
Okay.
It was about the video. She was trying to, what's the word that, discredit the video because there is a time difference. The timestamp is, I believe, 13 minutes.
Right, 13 minutes.
And
yeah, it's ahead, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
13 minutes. So she was trying to, dispel the video's, veracity. And the thing is, from the papers, if I remember correctly, the maintenance man recognized him from when Sandra moved in.
Yeah, he did.
And she tried to kind of insinuate that when he spoke to the police and about confession, excuse me, and I think she was trying to say, this is my take on it, you might have a different take, that him saying it was him in the video might not be true. Like that. What?
I don't remember that part.
Yeah, she said something talking to the confessing about the video or something. She said something along those lines. And then she also said, in the press, they're trying to disparage him because he refused the DNA and a polygraph. He did that because of his lawyer. His lawyer said, and of course, his lawyer, excuse me, a lawyer would tell their client no. But that doesn't mean, just because your lawyer tells you that, doesn't mean people. What do we have to say? Oh, okay, his lawyer said that happened, so nobody can put a bad inference on him because of that. it's like, really? Because to me, if I didn't do anything, and if I knew I wasn't the father of the baby, which obviously we know now he wasn't, but still, he didn't know if he left any DNA there. He didn't know if that was why they were going to take his DNA, unless they told him. We don't know, because that was not in. We can't see that report of that interview. Right. But even still, it's like, just because we have the right to be like, wait a minute, if I didn't commit a crime and I knew I didn't do it, I would give up. Hook me up to the polygraph.
Yeah.
Hook me up. You know, like if I did not murder this girl, I would be like, hook me up. Granted, he did commit other crimes, so that might be, let's play devil's advocate. That might be a reason why he wouldn't want to get on a polygraph.
Okay.
But
yeah,
if you didn't commit this, to me, so my name wouldn't be like destroyed. I would be like, hook me up today, release those results to the public.
mm-hmm.
You know,
even so, polygraphs aren't even admissible in court, are they?
They're not.
No,
so, they're just a law enforcement tool.
Yeah.
to judge a person's truthfulness.
It's to intimidate them, get them to talk.
Yeah.
You know.
With some people, it works to get them to confess, and some people just pass the law. There are some people who can pass a polygraph easily.
Right. Yeah, I've heard of that happening, which is really something. But yeah, but that was out there for the public to see anyway. So that's, I don't know why I set that up.
It was in the report.
Yeah.
You know, I know lawyers know, and this goes for a lot of things. Like I said, especially defense lawyers, they're just trying to, you know, do a good job for their client. But I sometimes think they forget that, like, even if this wasn't on TV, if it wasn't on the news, everybody could go get those reports.
Yeah.
You put in a FOIA request. You can read all the reports for the civil case online. You just go to masscourts.com and look him up.
Right.
It's like, so it's,
yep.
We can, the public has the right to get reports and read them.
That's right.
So,
yeah.
Okay. The defense attorney said he was allegedly in the video, but it was just a tall man wearing a mask, not necessarily Farwell.
Didn't he admit it was him?
Yes. And I think that's weird. Like I said, she didn't go into depth of confession, but she said that word, confession. So he confessed that it was him. Yeah. He admitted it was him. It's like,
I'm making
he admitted it. Okay, move on. Yeah. Just say what you guys were saying. I went there to break up with her, you know.
That's what
and you have your side of the story, and the prosecution has their side. Of course, that's what they're going to do. I feel like and I don't know if Annie's still in the chat, but Sue, you can mention it too, and obviously you Barb can voice it. You know, she went through you know, the Norfolk DA's office didn't charge him. The Massachusetts State Police didn't arrest him. I can't remember if she mentioned the Canton police. And then she said the medical examiner's office, you know, concluded it was a suicide, and all of them concluded it was a suicide. So, that might be one of the times she said, unfortunately, it was a suicide. And she said it was a suicide more than once. She was definitely trying to put that out there.
Oh, yeah, she was.
What were your feelings on that? And like I said, Sue, if you want to put in the chat what your thoughts were on that, because she did say it a few times.
She was establishing her case. She was, putting that into the head of the judge, the head of everybody that was there, basically. That's what she was doing.
One of the things Barb and I noticed, a lot of times when she would talk, she would lean over and put her hand on his back and rub his back like she was a mom, and we were like, like it was just to try to humanize him.
Poor Matthew.
Poor thing. He's been accused of this and he didn't do it. So we got a taste of what their strategy is going to be for the trial.
Yes.
And when I say this case is going to get ugly, they are gonna rip Sandra to shreds.
Yeah.
They are gonna take every ounce of Sandra's life and destroy it.
Yeah.
So that is why it's important for us, the people who support her, to come to trial, because there are going to be days where maybe Barb can't, because she just can't handle it because it's too much. We need to be there to be the support for Sandra, to be Sandra's voice in the courtroom, to be an extension of her family and friends, and so they have the support of so they know, the support and love that we all give them. Like I said, especially when they start showing autopsy photos and those type of things, and when they show, because there will be photos of when they found her, how they found her.
No, I don't want to see that. I can't.
That's the thing, is we need to be there. We need to be there to make sure that she has us. Hello. How are you? I haven't seen you in a while.
Who's this now? Oh, yeah.
Oops. Sorry. I just want to post what. Hey, Scott. How's it going? Oops. My computer's going haywire.
Your questions of the prosecutor.
Hold on. I want to read what Boozy just said.
That's a good question. Yep.
Boozy. And we will see quickly what mainstream media sources are honorable versus not. Yeah. Luckily, we have fostered a fairly good relationship with the press, and
yeah.
So hopefully we can keep that. But they are going to set, the press is the press. They want those sound bites. They want the things,
yeah, they do.
They want to put the salaciousness out there, and I don't even know if salaciousness is a word.
I think so.
Thank you. It's not just me, it's a lot of people, but thank you, especially Barb. It's hard for Barb. People don't understand. She has to sit with her cousin's murder every day doing this work, So what was
impressions of the prosecutor that stood up and talked? I don't remember what the name was of the person that stood up.
I'm going to leave this question up. I'm going to come back to this, Scott. Oh, I'm going to start it. I don't know how. I'll hopefully be able to find it after, because I've never started a question. So let me just finish going through the defense, and then we'll get to your question, Scott. Was there anything else? Let's talk about the judge. She asked the defense a lot of questions.
She did.
And she did what a judge is supposed to do, to be skeptical of what they're putting out there and ask a lot of poignant and important questions. But she asked them a lot of questions. What did you feel about the judge?
Well, like you said, she was, yeah, she asked a lot of questions. I was really hoping she'd give her ruling at the end of the hearing instead of making us wait, because
Yeah, me too.
I'm sitting on pins and needles right now, just waiting to see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
She seemed to ask more questions of the defense than the prosecution, though.
Absolutely.
Sure. And I feel like the prosecution, just to answer Scott's question real quick, is I didn't feel that like they were as prepared as the defense was. I felt like they were kind of reading off their response that the motion order response, that the formal one that they wrote out about 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I felt like they were basically reading off that. I was kind of hoping that they would, bring something new to the table, but they really didn't. They kind of stuck with that response they wrote. So I'm not really sure. Although she did disagree with the whole Boston Marathon comparison and all that. So
yeah,
it was good.
Annie, who was with us, says, I'm still disturbed by every time
Mm-hmm.
the attorney gently placed her hand on his shoulder, as he does not have a gentle bone in his body, in my honest opinion. Exactly. That's a perfect description of it. It was very motherly, and she was trying to convey, oh, poor Matthew, poor Matthew.
Yeah, that he's in this position. Oh.
Yeah,
look what they did to him.
This young woman was just crazy and distraught, and she messed up this man's life, and I'm sorry, it was the other way around. Is there anything else do you think we need to? I just want to actually convey, they did talk about the marathon bomber a lot.
They did.
And tried to compare the cases. Oh, I know what I want to talk about before we switch to the prosecution. Give me 1 second, guys. I just need to grab a link.
All right. Get a drink of water. All right.
I almost forgot to talk about what we uncovered today.
Oh.
So one of the things that the defense attorney kept saying was that there's a newspaper in, I believe she said Providence, and she named the name of the paper. For the life of me, I cannot remember the name of the paper.
I think it's the Journal, Providence Journal. I'm not
possibly.
sure. Yeah.
She kept mentioning it. She mentioned them. She kept saying Boston Globe, and she kept mentioning this paper. And there hasn't been any articles about Farwell in there. She said Matthew, I believe. There haven't been any articles about him. They haven't covered the case. We'll get such a more a fair jury in Rhode Island, and but she left something out. She kept saying the paper. And today, one of our members posted a short little clip about them covering Tuesday's hearing. It was just like a 10-second clip, maybe.
Yeah, it was like Channel 12, I think,
Yeah.
WPRI or something like that.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And after seeing that clip, I was like,
Yeah.
I thought the Rhode Island press wasn't covering it.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? Let me go look. So I Googled their station, and then I made sure to say again, thank you, Sue, Providence Journal. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Providence.
I was
Journal.
like, wait a minute. Hi, how are you today? I was like, let me check, because I wonder if they've covered it more
Mhm.
than just, since now they're being mentioned, maybe that's why they covered it. So let me bring this up. Give me one moment.
Yeah, take your time.
That.
And they kept saying his name was Farewell. 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 Go away. Ugh. Yeah. It's a pretty quick little one too, it says, and take a long time
Yeah.
to play.
I'm not gonna bother playing that clip.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show people this. Give me 1 second.
Oh, yeah.
So I went on their website.
Oh, look at that.
And I clicked, on that first report, but then I was like, let me scroll down. And yeah, next one was about Brian Walsh. But look, former Stoughton police officer charged in woman's death.
Goodness.
3 former Stoughton officers under fire following woman's death. So that's 3 stories that they, and I can't remember what, oops, are you guys able to see? Did you guys see that? Because I wasn't looking at, I'm like in the other screen. So I'll just leave it like that. So that's 3 stories that they covered, and one was 3 years ago and one was a year ago. So it's not like they hadn't covered it like for a little while. They covered it from when he was arrested. Actually, they covered it from when the report came out.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They did a story on it because the report came out 3 years ago. Because I've been on this case for 3 years from when I saw when the report came out.
Okay. Yep. Well, then another member talked about Channel 10. I went on there. I couldn't find it, but I only did a quick search. I'm gonna probably go back in and see. I couldn't find anything, but she said that she had seen it on Rhode Island's Channel 10. I forget what it's called. Something the 10.
And I will go look for that.
Yeah.
But I can't remember the saying. When you don't say something, just because you don't say it doesn't mean it's not a lie. Like, she didn't say it. She didn't.
Lying by omission?
Yes. Lying by omission.
We're familiar with that. Yes. Yes.
Yes. That is lying by omission.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
She's just pulling out whatever she can use.
Cherry picking.
Leaving the rest. Leaving all the rest of the truth out.
That is absolutely
misinformation.
I said it before. Sorry, my brain is like,
Yeah. I'm getting that way now too.
that's why I'm like, I gotta get all this out because I know Barb wants to be out of here soon.
It's no fun getting old, people. I'll tell you what.
Just by her, she's misleading. She was misleading the judge by saying that. Oh, they didn't cover it in the paper, Judge. They didn't cover it in the. You know what? They did not cover this in their paper, their local paper.
Baloney.
But you're leaving out the local station has been covering it for 3 years, not in depth. It's not like they went in depth into it, but they covered it for 3 years.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go on and see if there are any other TV stations in there.
Yep.
Exactly. It's misleading.
It is misleading.
And I want to thank that member. I don't want to say their name out here. Who posted that little clip today, because you led me to find this.
Yeah. So good.
It is federal because Michael Morrissey refused to charge the case, and the Massachusetts medical examiner still has it listed as a suicide. Annie says, I believe Judge Casper saw right through this argument.
Good.
I hope so. I agree too.
I hope so.
But who knows? No, I don't want the change of venue. I'm saying the defense misled the judge when she said Rhode Island has not been covering this case, because she kept saying the Rhode Island paper. The defense is trying to say, Judge, there's no coverage of this case in Rhode Island at all. This would be a perfect place for us to pick up and transplant down there because he would have a fair trial. Nobody knows about the case down there. A lie of omission, because she kept saying that it was the paper that wasn't covering it. She did not disclose that the TV station has covered it. So that's all I'm trying to say. It goes against her argument. It means that it is being covered there. And the other part of that is, Rhode Island is still in the Boston market.
Yeah, it's New England. It's in New England.
Yeah, obviously, Scott. We know that. We know, obviously. I'm not trying, like I said, I've said it like 15 times. She is there. It's her job to do, to cater to her client and do a good job. That's what defense attorneys are supposed to do. I fully agree with that.
Right.
But we caught her in it because it's misleading.
That's right. Yep.
Let's see what Sue said. The defense attorney also said that having the trial in Rhode Island would not inconvenience the witnesses because Providence is about the same distance from Stoughton as Boston is. Yes, but it would inconvenience her family.
Yeah. Yeah, because they're up in New Hampshire. Most of her immediate family, her aunts and her uncle live in New Hampshire.
Yep.
So it would definitely be an inconvenience.
I know it'll be an inconvenience to you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because I don't drive, so. Yeah. Vision issues.
Is there anything, Annie and Sue jump into with this so we can move on to Scott's question about the prosecution?
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you feel like we didn't talk about that we really need to touch upon?
Yeah.
I feel like we kind of touched upon it all. I just really wanted to make sure we got this little tidbit out before we moved on to the prosecution. I'll just give them a second. I'm not sure if everywhere in Massachusetts. I think it's just the district. But it's a large swath of Massachusetts. Ugh, my list went.
I didn't hear it. Didn't catch that. Way too much change. Donna Adelson didn't even get one. No,
She
what was
was
that
in
case?
Florida.
Oh, okay.
Was that a federal case? I don't remember. No, it couldn't have been a federal case because there was cameras in the court. That was a state case, though. But I agree. I fully agree. You know, it's not, most cases don't get moved.
No.
I don't remember hearing the prosecution say that the family is from New Hampshire.
I don't remember them saying it either.
I don't remember that. Annie, did you hear that? Sue, did you hear that? Thank you, Sue. Yeah, we're surprised that there hasn't been it hasn't happened yet.
Oops.
I've
got an alarm going off. I got to go take care of that.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Yep. I can check some questions in the chat. Yeah, Scott, definitely. I don't believe they touched upon that at all. And I think they should have.
All right.
I'm just scrolling up real quick.
Sorry about that. Okay. All righty.
I agree. I'd be really surprised if they granted the change of venue, Barb.
Me too. Yeah.
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 Scott. Changing the venue of federal courthouse is a weak argument by Farwell's defense, but I suppose our jury pool would benefit the defense. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I fully agree with that. What I was going to say. Okay. Let's go on to the prosecution so I can get you out of here. I know you have your game at 8:00.
I do.
You kind of touched upon it a little bit about the prosecution. That you thought they pretty much read off the
motion response.
Motion response.
Right. Yeah.
My only thing about it was I thought she was a little subdued. She was kind of a little too chill for my liking. That's
yeah, and obviously she wasn't as experienced as what's her name? Oh my gosh, Kimberly Stevens on the prosecution. That defense lawyer, Kimberly Stevens, she wasn't as experienced as she was as the defense.
She definitely has. Stevens definitely has. Although I don't like it, but she does have a little bit of courtroom swagger, you know.
She does.
She knows how to play the game. Like I said, she kept putting her hand on, always trying to mother him. It was a way to humanize him.
Right. That's what she wants to do.
Yeah. But I feel like that they put forth, I mean, like the judge did ask them some questions. And she did she did answer them. And I thought her answers to the judge were very good arguments.
You're talking about the defense prosecution side?
Yeah.
The feds?
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
And, the judge is a good judge, so she played devil's advocate with both sides. She didn't ask the the prosecution as many questions. But that makes sense because it was the defense's motion. So
Right.
they had the meat and potatoes of it.
Mhm.
And one thing, I don't remember hearing the prosecution say this, because one of the things that they, in their filing, I don't know if there was something that the defense said they weren't going to argue. But I don't know if this was the part that they weren't going to argue, that transporting him, it would be easier to transport him. And it's not that far it's just hopping on the highway, or they can house him at Fort Devens. Like there's a hospital there that they house people. And that's where they housed the Boston Marathon bomber.
Mhm. Mhm.
Scott, the swagger on either side will matter a lot more in front of the jury. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is just this, but this was our first time. Like the other hearings were like the first hearing we saw in person, the judge did 90% of the talking. She just went through and listed all the dates. This is when the trial's going to be. Here's your court dates going through the whole year. And the trial ended, and then there was one other hearing, and that one was almost shorter, I can't even remember what was said in that hearing. So this was the first time we got to see some lawyering, we got to see them in a little action. And, I mean, she didn't have, Alan Jackson swagger, but she had her own swagger about her. You can tell she's a defense attorney. She's got to put on a show. But when it came to the prosecution, that was my only thing. It wasn't like oomph. There wasn't a lot of oomph there, but that's just my opinion.
Yep.
Exactly, Scott. They transport from Wyatt to Boston all the time. So it's a very weak argument. I do want to set the scene again where like we're sitting in the courtroom, and then all I remember was Peter was up talking to the security, the bailiff, and I turned my head, and there's like Marshall. There's like two or three marshals behind us, and I was like, "Oh, it's happening! It is happening." Before you go, is there anything? Because I'm gonna answer questions that people have, so you can head out. Is there anything else you wanna say, make clear before you head out?
I don't think so. I think we covered it all.
Okay.
It was pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was an exciting day to finally see him. It was good to see him in shackles. It was good to see him in court. And it shows that this case is finally moving forward. Everybody on X kept saying, "Oh, this is going to be canceled. I'll believe it when I see it." And I kept saying, "No, this is a different."
Why would they say that?
This is the most important hearing to date. Because if they're going to change, if she's going to let this go forward, change of venue, it has to happen now. They can't wait.
Right. Yeah, I'm going to go check Pacer as soon as I get out of here.
Yeah. Well, if anything comes up, let me know. If anything comes up, pop back up.
First thing in the morning tomorrow.
Pop back up.
I will. Yeah.
Thank you for joining me tonight, Barb. Everybody, that's Barb.
Thanks.
Good night.
Good night.
Okay. Okay. I know I've missed some of your questions. If you guys have any questions, can you put them back up there? No, not right now. Like a lot of them are from New Hampshire. So, I mean, granted, it would be great to talk to him. But I hope myself and Barb get to meet him because, we will definitely, I speak for myself, not for Barb. I definitely plan to back him. He definitely seems like he's going to be aggressive on getting Norfolk County DA's office in shape and root out all the corruption from that office. But as of right now, I don't believe he's been in contact. Although he did work on the cases, so he possibly could have been part of the team that initially met with the family. I don't know. His next court date is February 6th. It's a Friday. I don't have the time, but I am making the poster tonight, so it will be up on social media tonight or tomorrow. I'm definitely going to get it up. Probably tomorrow because I'm putting the standout up tonight. Yeah, I hope we do too. I hope you guys get to meet him and talk with him. I hope we do too. I'm hoping that Just on Root's sister, Jen, gets to meet with him and talk to him too. Because that case is very important. That case needs to be re-looked at. And so I hope that he'll meet with Jen also. Yes, Casper is Judge Denise Casper, the judge. Yes, she's the judge. Thank you for dropping that in the chat. Make sure you go check out our website. And this is the Sandra Birchmore on X at Sandra Birchmore. Our Facebook page, Justice for Sandra Birchmore. We kept it kind of, simple. I just on X, it was too long for me to have it as the @ so I just did @ Sandra Birchmore. We put all the information. So if you're on X, go follow that. If you're on Facebook, come follow us there. Or you can go to our website and just get the information and updates from there. And Cheryl just put that in the page. Thank you so much. My awesome mod, she is awesome. I met her at a Karen Reed trial day. Yes, she presided over Whitey Bulger, so she's used to high-profile cases, and clearly that was an even more high-profile case than Sandra's is. So she knows how to operate around a high-profile case. I'm going to scroll back up to see if there are any questions that I can pull up to answer for you guys. Answered that one. I want to say what Annie said. Annie said the prosecution was impressive and immediately had answers to every question the judge asked. I fully agree with that. My thing is just There wasn't a lot of oomph behind her, but that's fine. Every lawyer is a little bit different. She still had the information. She still answered the judge's questions, and what she put out there, was a good opposition to what the defense was putting out there. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we're hoping we get it soon. We were hoping to have it tonight, so we can, talk to you guys about it. I don't think so, but you never know. I just hope it isn't. I really hope it isn't. That would really stink. Because I'm also coming from New Hampshire. That would really, Annie, I'm moving in for a month. I'm kidding. Yeah, that would be insane for me. And obviously, Sanders family that live up here, that would be absolutely insane for all of us. So hopefully she keeps it in Boston. Yeah, I want to scroll back up. Adam Deitch knows what's going on, in my honest opinion. I'm sure Sandra's case is very big part of. Yeah, he actually used Sandra in. He put Matthew Farwell in his ad, so he's very well aware of this case, and I'm sure that's one of the things he cannot wait to get in to Norfolk DA's office and get his fingers into what was going on there behind the scenes. Yeah, but she would have had to just move it to a different part of the state. When it's a state case, you can't take it out of the state. So the only thing that she would have been able to do was like move it to Western Mass, like way, way Western Mass, like, way Western Mass, to get away from, people who might not have heard about it as much out there. With a federal case, there's a little more leeway. There are a bunch of different places. That's one of the things actually the judge asked. She was like, why, what you keep saying Rhode Island, your petition said Rhode Island. Why is, why is that what you're saying? Because there are other places. They could bring it to New Hampshire. They could bring it to Maine. They could put it in a different part of Massachusetts. So, because there are other districts in Massachusetts. I believe there's one, I don't think it's Worcester. I think it's, Scott, you might know better than I do. I think it's Springfield. I could be wrong on that. So. Absolutely. Sandra's family does deserve justice. And a lot of her family was there on Tuesday. And I'm just glad she had so much support there to, sit on her side. And, they were going to have an overflow room also, just because they didn't know what kind of crowd they were going to get. And that also shows that even with the press that this has gotten, it's not the courtroom isn't getting way full. Oh, okay. That's good to know. In Worcester and Springfield. Although for me, Providence might be easier than going to Worcester or Springfield. It is, the scales of justice are being tipped towards Farwell getting off by the corruption in Massachusetts. That's one of the things that, I don't think people understand how much the fuckery Michael Morrissey and other Massachusetts, officials like the medical examiner's office, how much that is going to affect this case. It's going to be throughout this case, because his lawyers are going to say, well, the state of Massachusetts says it's a suicide. She's going to say that over again, and they're going to put people on the stand. We know we're going to see Fanning, and we're going to see Dunn. They're the two people who investigated this case for the most part. We're going to see all the Canton cops, because they're the first responders. We're going to see paramedic Daniel Whitley from the Karen Reed case. So they're going to be able to put the Massachusetts medical examiner on the stand, and she's going to say it's a suicide. But that's why it's so important that there are two other pathologists that say it's a homicide. Can Adam take it to trial even if the feds are doing so? Yes, you can be charged federally and by the state. The problem is they have to get Sandra's death. It would be very hard, because her death is still ruled as a suicide. But the issue with that is the statement that the medical examiner released to Dateline was something along the lines, at the time of the autopsy, this was the information we had. Well, to me, that doesn't make any sense, because a detective or the prosecutor can always give the medical examiner more information that might change her opinion on the case. Not like what happened in Karen's case, where DeChico and Proctor were joking about getting her to rule it a homicide. Not that way. It's taking the case, the information that they got, things like the time of her phone stopping, that there was there were signs that she didn't want to commit suicide. It looks like she should have, or just with the hyoid bone being broken, she should have ruled it at least undetermined. But so there are things that can, obviously, as detectives are going through the case, they come across other evidence. And the evidence that they were getting off of her devices made it look like he had a huge motive to kill her. So I don't know if that was conveyed to the medical examiner. I don't know what information they were taking back to her. Did they take any information back to her? We don't know. Spot. One thing I wonder is if the feds are still actively investigating corruption in Norfolk County, if that somehow impedes on what they are willing to bring up in Farwell's trial. Yeah. I don't know. That's a good question. I've always said, because they are still investigating his case, if there is anybody watching who has any information that could inform, the DOJ and the FBI, more information, please call them. Leave a tip. if you have information that will just lead them to a source or more information, you can call and leave a tip. You know, I get it. It's scary. We've seen what happened to Karen. We've seen, what they've done to Turtle Boy, what they've done to, the Canton Nine and Rich Schiffer and Peter Murphy, what law enforcement has done to people who backed Karen, and we know that the other two guys are out there. It is scary. But if you don't come forward, you could be letting, and I'll say the word alleged, an alleged murderer back on the streets. I know it's scary. And I just, if you can come to me and leave and message me with a tip, if it's a tip that of something that the FBI or somebody needs to know, you can even come to me. If it's not something, it's something that you know about, but it's not directly involving you, they can run it down and see if it's true. So. I agree. I fully agree with that. I don't know what's going on with it. I don't know how much they looked. It's hard because with the feds, you don't get as much of a look. A look into it as much as you do when it's state court. So I wish we had more, a top-down view of it so we can see more of it. And the clothes in the dryer is wild to me that they deemed it as, I agree, you don't wash your clothes if you're going to do that. You don't make appointments to have photos taken if you're going to do that. You don't make appointments. You don't set it up so somebody will watch your cat while you're going to be in the hospital giving birth months and months down the road, but don't take care of them when you are taking your own life, because Lord only knows how long she would have been sitting there if people didn't call to get a wellness check. Her cats would have been, they went 4 days without eating, technically 3 because it was, she was murdered at night, so technically 3 days. But it's like this young woman was so excited to be a mom. She was only about 10 weeks and she was already looking to get photos, and she was about to announce to the world that she was pregnant. On Valentine's Day, she was murdered on the 4th. 14 days later, she was going to announce to the world that she was having a baby. You don't do these things if you're going to take your life. Granted, yes, I know all too well, because I am somebody who tried to do it as a teenager. Sometimes you kind of, especially if you're somebody who has depression or mental health issues, sometimes it's just like, yep, right now's the time. But it's not. So for me, it was kind of that morning I woke up and like, yep, I'm going to do it today. But that doesn't mean that it was fully spontaneous. I'd been thinking about it for a while. So it rings hollow. And like I said earlier, they are going to destroy her on this. The defense is going to rip her to shreds. Her sexual activity, how you know, she liked the attention, how she, you know, even as an adult, they're going to say, why didn't you walk away? As an adult, she could have walked away. They're going to say all these things. They're going to go after her so much. They're going to make it look like Sandra's the bad guy. Let's just say that. They're going to make it sound like Farwell is, you know, farting daisies, and Sandra is just this evil, you know, person who, you know, ruined Farwell's life. Sorry, my lips are wicked chapped, and my lipstick is caking. Trooper Nick Garino should be Farwell's co-defendant. All his lies about the phones and the computer messages, scumbag too. Well, on top of that, John Fanning is the one who went through her computer messages. And that's where all that data was from. In the report, I wish I had the report up so I could show you guys. I've showed it before, but next time I'll bring it up again. He said he personally went through the thousands and thousands and thousands of messages. That's how they came out with. That's how they found out about when Sandra and Farwell's first time was, when she was 15. Because they were in the text messages that were on her phone that Fanning saw. So it's like, he's just as bad, even worse. He's seeing all this information. He's sitting down with all these people who are telling him that she never would have done this. You know, all these people are coming to them. He saw all of this. He oversaw all of this. He was the sergeant on the case. And then later on down the line, he got a promotion up to lieutenant. I find it funny. So many people, you know, became lieutenants and sergeants and moved up in law enforcement off of, you know, the death of people, off of John O'Keefe and Sandra Birchmore, and probably just on route, you know. Oh, don't worry about it. I've been watching the chat, talking to everybody, so that's okay. I fully agree with that. That's what they always seem to do. Dump all the blame on the victim. It's how they take the lazy way out. Oh, I want to show you guys something. Somebody tagged me in it. Give me 1 second. Talk amongst yourselves, because I really want to show this. Give me 1 second. Let me close that. Come on, Gmail, load. I'll get that up in a minute. Yeah, I full on agree with that. I think because Proctor, like, is so like a vile, disgusting person that a lot of these other troopers not get a pass, but they kind of get a pass because, you know, we got to see Proctor sit on the stand and say all the bullshit he was saying. So it's like the rest of them don't come off quite as bad. You know, they are, but they don't come off because, you know, he's not, we don't have his phones saying all this bad thing about, I mean, if we had his phone saying all this bad things about Sandra, I think people would be pretty pissed. All right, let me bring this up. Give me one more second. I forgot I meant to send this to myself earlier to share. Okay. Thank you, Christy, for tagging me in this. She said there's a thing called DARVO. Victim. What is DARVO? DARVO means deny, attack. I just want to make sure you guys can see it. Is that big enough? Let me zoom in a little. What is DARVO? DARVO meaning deny, attack, and reverse victim and offender. So basically, they're taking, you know, instead of, they take it and flip it that the defendant is now the victim, and it's a tactic that they're gonna, you know, it's a summarizes a constant reaction and manipulation tactic used by predators of abuse or other types of wrongdoing. So basically, they're going to focus so much on Sandra and her behavior and, you know, anything Sandra did, you know, did wrong, you know, they're gonna put it back on Sandra instead of focusing on him. And we knew that, but I was like, oh, that's such a great word to describe it. And I'm definitely going to keep that in mind to use it more often. So hold on one second. I just got to check something. Thank you, Annie, for that idea. Definitely. Yeah, I have an idea for that. Thank you. Sorry, guys. So yeah, they are gonna just try to destroy Sandra's credibility and destroy her character. And it's going to be disgusting and vile to watch. But that is another reason why we need to be in court for her. And I've never shied away. Sandra was not perfect. None of us are. I know I'm not perfect. No human on this planet is perfect. Not even, you know, the most holiest of holy persons. You know, we are all human. We all make mistakes. We all do loopy things. We all do crazy things. We do funny things. We do wacky things that, you know, a text you might send to a friend, like my friend Sarah. You guys have heard me talk about Brandon Embry's case. I got to get back to showing you guys episode 2 and 3. But his case, Sarah and I have texted, like, you know, photos, you know, autopsy photos, and like we're looking up all kinds of wacky stuff on the internet and together, trying to go down a rabbit hole together. And we jokingly used to say all the time back and forth to each other, if somebody ever got their hands on our phone, we'll look like serial killers from the stuff that we're Googling. but you could see by, like they'd be able to watch my shows to know, oh, that's why she's looking these up, those type of things. So everybody has something wacky or weird or embarrassing on their phones, but they are digging through Sandra's life. They're digging through her journals. They're digging through all of her posts, and they are going to try to destroy everything about Sandra on. And we got a small taste of that on Tuesday. Oh yeah, they are all vile. Exactly. They want Proctor to be the scapegoat, and we all know it wasn't just Proctor, because it wasn't just Proctor in those texts. Exactly. It's that's kind of like what that was talking about, but it's perfect way to use it when it comes to this case, because that's what they're going to do. They're going to take it and try to flip it and make Matthew is the he's the traumatized and abused one. He's lost everything. He's lost his freedom, his family, his career. It was all Sandra's doing. That's what they're going to try to do. What I find so telling is not one of Proctor's associates told him he's in violation of his oath. That's kind of like what I was just kind of alluding to. Like on those text messages, he had supervisors on those text messages, and Fanning was in those text messages, and the bull crap that they tried to use because he was on vacation when he sent those texts. Well, even if he didn't look at his work phone to get the text while he was on vacation, he would have seen them when he got back. And then when he saw them, why didn't he say something to Proctor? Like, dude, this is not appropriate. She was a traumatized young woman. If that's their angle, I'd say have it. Well, they're not going to say a traumatized. They're going to say that she had mental health issues, that it was her and it wasn't them, and that's how they're going to do it. They're going to say she's crazy, and she couldn't deal with that he broke up with him, and that's why she did this. But if they, you can't use it on one hand and not use it on the other, because why was she doing the things that she was doing? Because she was manipulated, because she was coerced, because she was groomed. She was groomed to be who he wanted her to be. Proctor was just a puppy dog in his corrupt supervisors with those texts. Yeah, he was the small fish. They were the big fish. That it wasn't like he had, obviously they, as troopers, they have power over us, but on the ladder of that office, he didn't have the power. It was Buchanan, Fanning, Tully, Morrissey, and whoever was overseeing the investigation at that point. Yeah, that's a good point. A lot of people are learning a lot more about grooming because of the Epstein stories breaking around. I agree with that. I don't think people fully understand how much grooming, what it does to somebody's mind. It totally warps their mind to start thinking in a different way. People, it's like you could have a child who was an A student and had their, had their goals, and then this person comes in and totally starts getting in their head and manipulating them, and their life trajectory goes in a different direction. Oh yeah, I'm sure they'll have, a clinical psychologist to get up there and explain all the stuff that we're saying. Um, um, yeah, and the 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 whichever jury sees him that gets him, they're going to hate him anyway when they start hearing about the sexual abuse. So they're going to be disgusted by him. So they have to own it. And we don't know that they might own it. I don't know. I don't know their whole strategy, but I know, I've been saying this for a long time. They're gonna break her down. I think it's more of, they think in Rhode Island they'll get a less biased jury. They think that people in Massachusetts, especially in the Boston area, have heard so much about Sandra's case that people in Rhode Island haven't seen as much of the news coverage. Absolutely. 60%, I think, could be higher. Males that were SA at a young age and end up being offenders. Yeah. Trauma breeds trauma, They go on to victimize other people. Okay, we're at a little bit over 2 hours. Are there any other questions that we have for tonight, especially about court? I do want to address something, but I want to wait to see if there are any other questions, comments on this, and then I want to address something. Okay, I'm not seeing any other comments coming in or questions. Okay, let me get some chapstick first. Well, a couple things. One, I don't know. Some of you know, but some don't know. Why I'm not always here. I'll say I'm going to do a show tonight, or I'll say this night or this night, and I don't always get to come. I just want to make sure people understand. It's not that I don't want to be here. It's just sometimes I physically cannot be here because of my health. My migraines. I have fibromyalgia. I might have others. I mean, I do have a lot of other issues, but I might have some other issues going on that we're trying to figure out. And I just want to, it's hard for me to build an audience, and I appreciate everybody here who comes in and joins me, who sticks with me, even though I'm not here all the time to be a steady YouTuber. Unfortunately, with my health, I can't at the moment be like somebody who sometimes an hour before a show, I might have to cancel. Like last night, I forgot to post it on here. I was going to do a show last night, And I physically just couldn't. And I even forgot to post that I wasn't going to do a show last night. I appreciate you all who do stick with me. It means the world to me, especially since, like I said, in my situation, I can't be like a person who does every night or, 3 times a week or, sometimes even once a week. It's hard for me. I do want to address some other things. Some people or someone was mentioning it in the chat a little while ago. I want to address some of the drama that's going on. Excuse me, let me adjust myself for this. The drama that's thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's been going on in FKR, I have, I made a conscious decision to keep the Justice for Sandra Birchmore group away from all that. Don't take my silence for me not having opinions. It's tough because, as you guys can see, and seeing anyone who's met me or just seeing me on chats and other streams with other people, I'm a very opinionated person. But I felt like I had to Barb and I had to protect the Justice for Sandra Birchmore group from the outside goings on. I am 10 toes down. I support Karen Reed. At Christmas, I sent Brian of LTL a message and apologized to him because him and I, we were friends. And when everything started this summer going down, I didn't reach out to him and just ask him if he was okay. Not to take a side, but just, just to reach out and say, hey, man, are you okay? And I said, I'm sorry for that. I said to Barb, and this part is about a totally different situation, some drama that we've had. I said, I've done everything to protect the Justice for Sandra Birchmore group, but I haven't always protected myself and said what I want to say about situations. What the Massachusetts State Police are doing in the Norfolk DA's office when it comes to Turtle Boy, them going after him, I don't agree with. I think they went after him because he was standing up and making a lot of noise and going after them and putting what they were doing in light. He was shining a light on it. But I support Karen Reed because I think she was railroaded for murder and she needs to clear her name, and clearing her name will get justice for John O'Keefe, because that's what I'm here about, to get justice for murder victims. I am somebody who will speak up for somebody who is not here anymore and needs someone to speak up and say, this is wrong, this person mattered, and we can't allow their murder to be covered up and not be spoken about. But I can't have this group and Sandra's stuff to be ingrained in that. Whichever side you fall on, whoever you support. And the way I look at it, we are all fucking adults. Support who you want to support. But just because you support one person and this person supports a different one, we don't have to tear each other down. We just have to be true to ourselves. And like I said, I'm here to get justice for Sandra. I'm here to get justice for John. I'm here to get justice for Justin. And I'm here to get justice for a lot of other people who were murdered and who aren't here to speak about what happened to them. Because that is one of my mottos. Every victim deserves justice. That outside drama, John O'Keefe is being lost in this because there's so much fighting going on. And I understand. I don't want to say too much because I don't want people to come for me, to come for Sandra because they're coming for me. See, that's the problem, where I can't always feel free to speak with some in certain instances because I'm trying to protect the Justice for Sandra Birchmore group. And I will always protect the Justice for Sandra Birchmore group. Because I'm here to get justice for this young woman. I've made friends on both sides. But like I said, I wholeheartedly support Karen Read. That doesn't mean I don't support Turtle Boy getting his case out, him finding justice too. Exactly. I am what Scott just said. I am here to fight corruption and for victims, because we are fortunate. We are so fortunate to be here and to be able to stand up and be able to use our voices. Staying silent in this moment, you can't do it. I'm not saying you don't have to do what I've done. You don't have to be a crusader out there on the front lines, standing up for somebody the way I have stood up for Sandra. You don't have to be like that, but you can do it. You could do it in a way that supports those who are going to be out there. That's what I feel on that. I do want to address something else, and I'm going to try to do it without being too political. But it's something I have to say as a woman with brown skin. Since almost exactly a year ago, I had to start carrying my birth certificate with me. Because I knew someday I might have to prove that I'm an American citizen. That should not happen in the United States. We don't ask for people's papers. I am somebody who believes that this country does need people in this country who shouldn't be here, that are criminals, that are murderers and stuff like that. But I also think that this country was built on having empathy for those who were good people who wanted to come to this country. Like I said, I'm going to try not to get to it. I don't want to lose, I don't want to lose people. And I don't want it to turn into a huge political debate. But this is coming from somebody who is in fear right now because her brother lives in Maine and things have started to pop off in Maine. I am in fear now that when I come to Massachusetts, because not much is happening up here. I just want to leave you guys with that it's something that I live with every day as a woman of color. And I don't expect anybody in here to change their political beliefs, but see things from somebody's side. Let me ask this question of you guys. How many put a 1 in here if you carry your birth certificate or your passport around to prove that you're a citizen in this country? Because like I said, from January 20th, 2025, I started carrying mine because I knew I was going to be down in Boston to come through to go to Sandra's stuff. I'm just trying to show you guys a human face behind some of what's going on. Do we need immigration reform? Yes. Do we need to make sure that the people who are coming into our country are good, upstanding people? Of course we do. But there are people behind that, and I'm a person behind it. Yes, I'm not Hispanic. My father's Black. My mother's white. That's why my name is a mixed girl in a mixed up world. But because I have brown skin, it could come to my door. So just remember that when you're seeing things on TV. I just want everybody to think about it, because I am a face that you know. I'm a face that's coming into your house right now. I can't be silent on this because it's not just me it affects, but I worry for my brother right now. I don't leave my house except when I do Sandra stuff and go to the doctors. But I still carry it in my wallet just in case. And there shouldn't be an just in case for American citizens at all. Like I said, I tried to keep politics off my page, but I couldn't be silent. And I see that my the people who are viewing kind of dropped off. That's fine. But the person I am, I can't be silent anymore. I cannot. Like I said, when I started talking about this, I've always protected the Justice for Sandra Birchmark group, but I didn't protect me. And I have to protect me. And if by giving some people maybe some food for thought and understanding, and like you just said, humanizing things, putting a face, a person maybe somebody you've met, somebody you watch me, we converse, we talk on here. This isn't a red or blue or independent. We're Americans, and an American should never have to be asked to show their papers. So back to the other I was talking about. I am here to get justice and root out corruption. And I appreciate you guys being on this journey with me to help get Sandra justice. It's important. Let me see. I'm in Maine. I have a friend who has extra rooms in her home for people. Oh, bless her. You know, we appreciate you, Mizzy. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. It was, you know, I'm a person of color who, you know, because I was brought up in predominantly white areas, I moved through white communities easily. I gel with people. It's to me, I'm just, you know, it's not, there isn't a tension with me, you know, unless somebody wants to bring it. But you know, I'm comfortable moving in spaces that I'm the only person of color in the room. But it's unnerving knowing this stuff is going on and not knowing who you can trust. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you guys all being here. I appreciate everyone who stayed to listen to the end of this and me, you know, kind of shed some light and be a face of what, you know, you guys are seeing going on. I hope that makes you, excuse me, makes you think a little more about the situation. You know, we need to come together as a country because it's starting to get very ugly. And, you know, one of the things that I think has been wonderful that I've learned, you know, from being a part of Free Karen Reed and the Justice for Sandra Birchmore group, so many different people with different opinions and different lifestyles and have come together. I mean, like, you know, I'm very independent liberal. I waver in between that. You know, like Scott, he's conservative. But me and Scott have worked together and we've stand next to each other, we stand up for each other. We've stood by, you know, had many conversations, and we're just here for justice. You know, we can, you know, and if that's how we all start working together, you know, that's one of the beautiful things about this I don't want to say experiment, but this experience has been, there were so many different people from different walks of life saying, you know, who might not have met each other because they ran in different circles, you know. We just all need to find a way to take the temperature down, whether it be, you know, in a small way when it comes to, you know, Free Karen Reed and, you know, everybody fighting in that, or when it comes to the bigger things, you know, going on in our country. We all need to learn how to take the temperature down. You know, there are a few other things that I will address going forward, where I have stayed silent on, and I want to let my voice be heard. But I'm going to leave it at that. I thank you all for being here. I thank you all for watching. And you know what? If people don't like what I said, I'm sorry. You know, I know, like I said, there's a bunch of people, you know, my views dropped drastically. But that's okay. That is quite all right, because I have to be me and I have to stand up for myself, and I can't be silent, especially on something that drastically affects me in my family. And if I can be the face behind that, you know, to make you think, wow, yeah, you know what, I never thought of it like that, then I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everybody who is here. Thank you, Cheryl, for being an amazing mod. I love you all. Thank you, replay crew. I love you. Whoops, wrong way. Love you. I don't know when my next show will be. I'm going to try to get back on doing it Mondays. I might have to find it. I might have to go to Wednesdays. I'm not sure. I'll talk to you, Cheryl, about it. Oh, wait, no, actually Mondays or Wednesdays. It'll be one of those days, but I'm going to try to get on a schedule. You know, there was a time when I was doing, you know, a bunch of shows and then it kind of dipped away. And I do want to do another Brandon Embry show really, really soon. Because I want to bring you guys that case, and I want to get his mom on the channel so we can I can, you know, have her update the case. And I also want to now that the year is over, I want to make sure that I'm bringing some guests on so we can talk about the case. So I appreciate you all. You all beautiful people, have a wonderful night. And I am Mizzy, and I'm a mixed girl in a mixed up world. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful night.